audience, and thank you for tuning in once again to the Dent Podcast and listening and viewing. I'm here with my partner in crime, Matthew Petchel. I remembered his name this time, so I'm
much better
happy about that.
Yeah.
We'll have a blooper reel down the road where you can see outtakes, but super honored to have a very special guest with us today, president of orthobrain, Richard Uria. Thank you, good sir, for being here and joining the Dent Podcast. Thank you for making time, Richard. We're super happy to have you here.
Thanks for having us. Or thanks
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Happy to be here and appreciate everything you guys are doing for the dental industry.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see what we did like 25 years ago. So we're just really making up for.
You're just getting started.
We're making up for all the bad things we did a long time ago.
That just getting started is a good segue. And we're going to be honorable to your time and the audience's time here and keep it tight. Richard, I want to ask you, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for quite some time now, but orthobrain is this rocket ship. And I know for a fact you came from outside the dental industry to lead this company. So question for you, there's so many leaders in dental corporations who have been dental diehards. What was your experience coming from outside dentistry? What did you learn? And what differences can you espouse? Are your skills transferable? Did you have to learn a new set of skills? And especially, for our audience, you have the greatest accent in the world, and I know you are originally South African. Could you tell us a little bit about your history and then answer the ominous question of how different is dentistry?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And again, thanks, Matthew, for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Growing up in Johannesburg, South Africa, Mike, as you mentioned, born and raised, moved to the Cleveland, Ohio in 2002. Background of finance, and then really came to the US and got into manufacturing. So really no dental, other than the fact that I watched my brother become a dentist and then become an orthodontist. So really watched him and aspired and really learned from him, going to dental school in South Africa, ortho school, and really, he started his career. He went to Europe and practiced in Europe, and then he landed up moving to Sydney, Australia. I chose Cleveland, Ohio, came here, and landed up being in the manufacturing industry for many years. So really, for me, coming from outside the dental and clinical world was probably one of the steepest learning curves for me, but appreciating the complexity and nuances of delivering care while also navigating regulatory, the operational, and all the clinical standards really took a lot of time for me to learn. But I quickly immersed myself in the science of dentistry, especially learning from my peers in orthodontics and really from Dr. Dan Gurman, who is the founder and CEO of orthobrain, and just, understanding the mindset of both the general practitioner and the specialist. So I really spent a lot of time listening to the dentist, to the orthodontist, to the clinical team members and the patients. And really, I believe that accelerated my learning and helped shape the way we built orthobrain to truly support clinical excellence and practice growth.
Awesome. And I do want to tap on, you mentioned Dr. Dan Gurman. We're going to have him on as a guest later on in the series. But as I selected Dan and as one of probably the best clinical lecturers, empowering lecturers I've ever in all my years in dentistry. I mean, Tony Robbins doesn't hold a candle to him. So that must be interesting working as a partner with him in building the company. So I applaud both of you.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode in a way, because he is, and I love, he's got the greatest nickname that is not really, it's a nickname, but it's just his name smushed together, which is Danger Man, and he is one of those just really just beautiful, lovely, awesome, positive people that when you see speak, and I actually did an event last year in Bermuda, and he spoke, and that was the first time I'd seen him speak. It's just like such a breath of fresh air to see someone who loves what they do and is so knowledgeable in it, and is just so engaging and easy to watch. You know, a lot of times people fall off after 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and he keeps going. I mean, I don't know where he gets his energy, but I want some of it, but I'm not moving to Cleveland, Ohio to get it. That's
Yeah, Dan, listen, Dan's always been about empowering the GP. He's always been about giving confidence and opportunity. He wants to teach. You know, Dan's been speaking around the world for over 20 plus years. He's been lecturing.
yeah.
Small world, little party favor here. Dan actually lectured my brother in the late 90s in South Africa, and he lectured my brother in Sydney, Australia in 2016. So small world, our paths crossed later on when I joined the board of orthobrain and as an advisor. And here I am, 5-6 years later with Dan alongside him in this journey as we continue to build this business. But again, his passion for just being in front of the market, being in front of the community, giving back is just Dan in a nutshell. He's super passionate about it.
So, I think I asked you guys the first time I met you, and I think it would be, if I were listening to this podcast, I'd be wondering the question that I would think right off the top of my head is, what would make a company think that they could come in and take on the 600-pound gorilla in this industry in the space, right? It's like, it'd be like opening a coffee shop, in Seattle in the middle of 4 Starbucks, right? And that's kind of what you guys have done. And give us a little sort of insight on what weren't they doing that you said we can do and we can do differently, and it's going to work?
Yeah, great question. So, we always talk about the fact that we go beyond the plastic. We really there as an ecosystem for the GP, for them to plug and play the orthobrain solution, to confidently deliver orthodontic care with the full support of virtual orthodontic experts. Behind the simplicity of orthobrain, we have a sophisticated system. We have clinical planning, we have education, which is a key component to our success and to the GP success. We have technology as well as continuous clinical support that's pretty much available through our messaging center 24/7. So the other thing is we've taken a complex speciality of ortho and we've broken it down for the GPs into an achievable process that allows them to serve more patients and grow their practice without compromising care. So again, we've kept it simple. We've kept it super simple for the GPs. The execution and the strategy that Dan really put together took years of development. So this isn't something that just came up overnight. And it's built up on decades of clinical expertise and practice insight. So Dan took proven practice systems that he implemented in his successful practices as an orthodontist, and really he made them available to GPs to integrate orthodontics successfully into their practices.
What's the let me ask this: what's the breakdown in your mind of the difference with what you're doing? How much of it is technology, and how much of it is just support or non-tech? Support isn't always have to be technology. It's more just like confidence or literal support. Somebody to call and talk to. And how much of it is the actual technology?
It's a great question. So many times you hear GPs say to us, I have a patient for this, but, I didn't go to school for this. My ortho knowledge is not up to par. So again, we tell them that's what orthobrain is. Whether, your question is the technology component, you don't need to become an orthodontist. We bring the orthodontist to you. So we have the component of the technology. We have the AI, which is, going into the teeth straightening component, but the biggest factor is the HI, which is the human intelligence, which is our US orthodontic team. Our orthos are hands-on in every single case that comes through our platform. So I would say that probably a heavy percentage of what we do is technology-based, and with the human intelligence of the orthodontist, it's really resulting in much more predictability and better outcomes for the doctors and obviously for the patients. The other thing is, that I talk about the ecosystem and the holistic approach. With our step-by-step education, our case guidance, easy to follow treatment plans, we make it approachable and safe for the GPs. And the other thing is we give them the confidence to start the case, and they have the support to deliver the case throughout treatment.
It seems bulletproof. And Richard, this. We talked about it. It was happenstance, but a dear friend of mine who is a pediatric dentist has been working with orthobrain and onboarded, and it's been this massive practice expansion for her. And she said the number one thing she had to overcome was just what you said. She's been out of dental school for 25 years. She had a fear that this was, not in her wheelhouse. But kudos to you guys. She and her associates and partners have just embraced this and really expanded their service offerings. Not that they don't. I mean, she has a orthodontist board certified as a partner. It's just his choice is not to do clear aligner therapy. And now she's treating not only kids, but the parents of the kids or the brothers of the kids. It's really been one of these business plug and plays and expansion, and her confidence has just skyrocketed. And what started as a couple patients a month seems to have just exponentially. Is that the common track, that once that mastery, that fear is gone, that the confidence level just goes up, 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 and up?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mike. When you think about it, whether it's pediatric or GP, they already have access to those patients. Those patients are already spending time in those chairs. They have the relationships with the patients. So what orthobrain is doing is delivering the confidence and the opportunity to that GP or pediatric to really provide the patients with the care that they need. And clear aligner therapy today is, if you think about where we are today, where we're going, you're just going to continue to see that hockey stick growth in clear aligner therapy. And the thing with orthobrain is, to your point, to this pediatric doctor you're referring to, they're never alone. They've always got access to the orthobrain team. They've always got access to our orthodontist. If they have any questions during treatment, there's a clinical team that's got 20 to 30 years experience of treating patients. They've got our orthodontic team available that they have access to. So again, we're available to help them continue add these products and services to their practices.
Yeah. And, we've all been there, right? And we've all had to learn something new for the first time. And it's scary, even if it's something small, but having someone that you can call on, or someone who's there either next to you or virtually, that can, prevent you from, whether it's making a mistake or going down the wrong road too far before you realize you're in the wrong spot. That can save you plenty of time, and certainly, mistakes or even embarrassment if you sort of take the wrong case and go the wrong direction. At the end of the day, your reputation as a clinician's on the line. And when you say, hey, this is going to take 30 weeks and it takes 50 weeks, it's not great, right?
Yeah, right.
So
No,
yeah, you want to
it's good clarification, and I've just heard great things. So kudos and congratulations.
We got a lot of great things planned for 26.
Great.
Again, the market's been calling for this. The market's craving it.
Yeah.
GPs are looking for that support, that level of support where they, we like to use the line, "You're never alone." with orthobrain. And, I'll tell you, there are cases that if a GP comes to us with a case that is really going to be a complicated case, we will tell them to refer it out. We will not let the GP take on a case that's going to result in an issue. So we're very, very careful there. We're protecting the GP. At the end of the day, yes, they're doing the treatment and we're advising them, but ultimately, we want to give them that pathway to success, and for them and for their patient.
Great. All right, last question, because Mike's going to start shooting text messages about going over time here. Last question, and you only have 30 seconds to answer it. And it's, if you could, and it's actually, your perspective will be interesting because you're not new to dentistry, but you're sort of new to the industry on the side. Is, if there's one thing you could change in dentistry, what would it be?
Wow. I think it's really just for GPs to embrace the opportunity to successfully grow their practices. GPs, the days of drilling, filling, and cleaning for GPs is sort of, it's past tense.
Right.
Embracing the technology, embracing whether it's, GPs always say there's two ways to grow their practices, whether it's implants or clear aligners. It's just, embrace it with confidence. Think about the technology component. You think about scanners today. You go into a lot of GP offices and they still don't have scanners. So, think about getting a scanner for your practice, what it can do for you from a restorative perspective.
Right.
Look at the future. And I think there's so much in terms of brightness for the dental space in the future. I think between now and 2030, you're going to see so much focus on the GP space, and we're super grateful and thrilled to be participating in it.
Oh, great. Excellent. All right. Well, I think that wraps up this fine episode of 10 Dent. Richard, thank you for joining us. You're a super knowledgeable and super likable, and love what you guys are doing and pushing the industry forward, which we all are trying to do in our own way, right?
Absolutely, and we appreciate the opportunity to be on 10 Dent.
All right,
a lot of exciting things to come from orthobrain.
Excellent.
Absolutely, Richard, thank you.
Yep.
So you've done your homework. Continued success. We will see you on the road at one of the dental shows. Thank you, good sir.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you, gents.
Thanks, Richard.
Thank you. Have a good one.